So, what if the one thing holding you back from massive success isn't your talent, your smarts, or even how hard you work? Today, we are diving deep into a classic book with a really powerful answer to that question, The Magic of Thinking Big by David J. Schwartz.
And really, this one quote is the core of the entire book. It's not about being a genius, it's not about being lucky, it's all about the scale of your thoughts, the size of your ambition. You can think of it as the operating system for your mind, and everything else just runs on top of it.
Which brings us to this question, and it's a big one. I mean, really stop and think about this. We all know people who are just as sharp, just as dedicated as anyone else, but the results are just worlds apart. What is going on there? What's the secret ingredient? To get to the bottom of it, the book tells this great story about a salesman named Harry. Now, Harry was, a pretty average guy on paper, but his income? Whoa, it was anything but average. And this is where we get to see that magic play out in the real world.
Just look at this breakdown. Harry was pulling in $60,000 a year when all his coworkers were making around $12,000. So you have to ask, was he 5 times smarter? Nope. Did he work 5 times harder? Not at all. He actually took more vacation. Better territory, better accounts, all the same. The only, and I mean the only thing that could explain that massive gap was that Harry thought 5 times bigger than everybody else. That's it.
Okay, so how do you get that 5x bigger thinking for yourself? The good news is, it's not something you're just born with. It all starts with making a conscious upgrade to the engine that runs everything, your belief system. And let's be clear, the book isn't talking about just wishful thinking here. It's not about just hoping for the best. Real belief is an active, powerful force. It's that I'm positive I can attitude that basically sends a direct order to your brain saying, hey, this is happening. Your job is to figure out how. And when you truly believe, it's amazing. Other people can feel it, and they start to put their confidence in you too. So how do we actually do this? Well, the book gives us 3 super practical ways to build that belief. First, you got to manage your mental factory. A negative thought comes in, you see it, you reject it, and you replace it with a thought of success. Second, you have to stop selling yourself short. Successful people are just ordinary folks who have an extraordinary belief in themselves. And third, you got to believe big. It's kind of funny, but big goals often attract more help and open up bigger opportunities than small ones do. Now, building up your belief is awesome, but it's only half the battle. You also have to get rid of the one thing that will absolutely destroy it, making excuses. And the book has this perfect, memorable name for this bad habit. Excusitis. The more successful a person is, the fewer excuses you hear them make. But the person who's going nowhere, they've got a whole library of reasons why they can't, why they won't, and why it's not their fault. But here's the best part. Just like any illness, excusitis can be cured. You just need the right vaccine. Let's be honest, we all have our favorite excuses. Here are the 4 most common ones, and they're mental vaccines. For health excuses, the cure is to practice gratitude for the health you do have and just stop talking about your ailments. Worried you're not smart enough? You got to drill it into your head that your attitude is worth way more than your raw IQ. Think you're too old or too young? Reframe your age as an asset and focus on all the productive time you have left. And for that old bad luck excuse, you just have to accept the law of cause and effect. Success isn't an accident. Okay, so you're building your belief, you've vaccinated yourself against excusitis. What's next? Well, now you have to light the fuse. You've got to turn all that mental horsepower into actual results. And you do that through action. It's time to become a doer. The book says the world is basically split into 2 kinds of people, the activationist and the passivationist. The passivationist is always waiting for the perfect time, waiting for conditions to be just right, which, of course, never really happens. But the activationist, they start now. They take action. They figure things out as they go. And guess who gets all the trust and respect? The person who's actually in motion. And this right here, this is the ultimate secret weapon. Action is the cure for fear. It's not just thinking positive thoughts, it's doing. When you hesitate, when you wait, when you put things off, that's like pouring fertilizer on your fear. But the very moment you take one tiny step towards the thing that scares you, that fear starts to starve. It's like a universal law of the mind. But wait, what happens when you finally take that action and you fail? This is maybe the most important piece of the whole puzzle. Because people who think big don't somehow avoid failure. Nope. They just know how to use it. They know how to turn a setback into the fuel for their next victory. And this isn't just some nice sounding idea. Think about how the most successful organizations handle failure. When a plane crashes, the Civil Aviation Administration doesn't just shrug and move on. No way. They obsessively study every detail to figure out what went wrong so they can make flying safer. They literally salvage victory from defeat. And you can do the exact same thing. Don't just keep trying the same thing over and over. Be persistent, yes, but combine that persistence with experimentation. Find the lesson, tweak your approach, and go at it again, only this time you're smarter.
So let's bring this all home. This isn't a book you just read. It's a book you're supposed to live. So I have a question for you. What's that one big thought, that one idea you've been putting on a shelf, telling yourself it's too big or you're not ready? And maybe more importantly, what is one small, simple action you can take right now, today, to start moving towards it? Because that, right there, is the real magic of thinking big.